Thank you very much. So, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be here today to present this study regarding the effect of air pollution on the ST elevation myocardial infarction onset. So I am Jean-François Argachin. I'm a cardiologist from the University Hospital of Brussels. I have no disclosure to declare. So let's start with a few words of background, and I would like to introduce the definition, a simple definition of air pollution. Air pollution is a mixture between particles air pollutant and gaseous air pollutant. The particles are classified according to their size, with the fine particles, the PM2.5, and the bigger particles, the PM10. The gaseous air pollutant are mainly the nitric dioxide and the ozone. The global health effect of air pollution is now widely understood, and the World Health Organization recognized that air pollution is responsible of 1.3 million deaths worldwide per year. If we look more precisely to the effect on the cardiovascular system, we have some previous studies showing that air pollution is associated with an increased incidence of myocardial infarction. But myocardial infarction represents a large panel, a large family of different diseases. And the ST, what we call the ST elevation myocardial infarction, is the most severe form of acute myocardial infarction. Until now, we have no clear demonstration of an influence of air pollution exposure on the STEMI onset. And this is maybe very important because the STEMI are associated with a very big damage to the heart. So the aims of this study was to answer these three questions. First, does air pollution affect the incidence of STEMI? The second question was to know if this effect is more related to the particles air pollutant or the gaseous air pollutant. At least we try to determine if we have some vulnerable populations to the effect of air pollution. Indeed, if we consider, for example, the diabetic population, it's possible that this population has a higher risk to develop STEMI consequently to air pollution exposure. So in methodological issues, we have included 11,428 STEMI patients between 2009 and 2013, and this patient come from the Belgium Interdisciplinary Working Group on Acute Cardiology Registry. The air pollution data were extracted from the Belgium Environment Agency monitoring stations. And what is interesting to know is that we have a sort of tradition of air pollution in Belgium. Indeed, the first industrial fog associated with an increased mortality was observed in Belgium during the Meuse Valley fog. And this is why you can see on the map on the middle of the screen that we have in Belgium a very dense air pollution monitoring network. And we are able in Belgium to provide a real-time evaluation of air pollution, not only around the monitoring network, but in each part of Belgium using what we call the RIO map. It's a mathematical model to project the air pollution in each part of the country. The relation between air pollution and STEMI was addressed using what we call a case crossover statistical analysis. It's the gold standard method to study the effect of air pollution on an acute event, and for example, the STEMI are, of course, acute events. So let's move on to the results of our study. On the left part of the screen, you have the effect of air pollution on the global population. First, what you can see is that the ozone does not affect the risk to develop a STEMI. However, the particles and the PM10 and the PM2.5 are associated with an increased risk of 2.6 and 2.8% of STEMI for a rise of 10 micrograms per cubic meter of this air pollutant. But the most important effect was not observed with particles. It was observed with nitric dioxide. And you can see that for an increase of 10 micrograms per cubic meter of nitric dioxide, we have an increase of STEMI of 5.1%. If we look now to the subgroup analysis, according first to the gender of our patient, the effect of air pollution on STEMI was only observed in the men population. According to the age of the patient, the elderly patient developed more STEMI in relation to the particles exposure, whereas the younger population, less than 54 years old, are more susceptible to nitric dioxide. We have observed no clear predisposition to the effect of air pollution of diabetic, hypertension, or coronary artery disease population. We have observed an increase in the STEMI incidence, but hopefully no change in the in-hospital mortality of these myocardial infections. All these findings are observed in Belgium, despite the fact that we can say that we have in Belgium a relative good air quality situation. This table illustrates the air pollutant concentration during a study period. And for example, you can see for the PM2.5 that the concentration was 16.1 microgram per cubic meter, where when the recommendation of the European guidelines are 25 microgram per cubic meter as a maximal recommended value, and this comes from the European Directive of 2008. So to conclude this presentation, I would say that we observe for the first time at a national level, and despite clear observance of the European Union air quality guidelines, that the particulate and nitric oxide air pollution are associated with increased risk of STEMI. We observe that the detrimental impact of nitric dioxide exceeds that of fine particles, and this may be of particular concern, especially in the younger population. And at least, and this is maybe the only good news from this study, despite an increased risk of occurrence, we observe no association between air pollution and the mortality associated with this STEMI. Thank you for your attention, and I will be happy to answer your question.
Thank you. Well, any questions? Please. You get a microphone there.
What is what?
You talked that in the 1930s, there's the first...
the Meuse Valley.
Meuse Valley fog.
Okay, the Meuse Valley fog is... so the Meuse Valley is around Liège. It's a city in Belgium. It's at that time, it was with a very big industrial activity. And the first fog was observed in Belgium. We have some people saying that the first fog was observed in London. It's not the case, sorry for English people here, but the first fog was observed in Belgium. It was the first case that we have seen an increase of mortality associated with an air pollution fog. And the reason why in Belgium we have a lot of experience in air pollution, and we have a very dense air polluting monitoring network, as you have seen of this picture. We have more than 70 air pollution monitoring stations for the particles and 90 for the nitric dioxide, and it's very important for small countries, for a small country. Yes, please.
Melissa Walton-Schroeder, the Heart.org. So what is it about males in Belgium? Is it more smoking, or what do you propose that it's more often observed in men?
In terms of air pollutant? Yeah, so it's very difficult to compare air pollutant between countries because all countries have some specific concerns regarding pollutant. For example, in Luxembourg, you have a very big problematic with nitric dioxide. In Belgium, maybe it's more a problem of particles. In the UK, it's more a problem of particles. It's difficult to compare countries together. What we know is that we have from European Union a study showing the projection of mortality associated with air pollution. And if you compare all the countries together, you have two zones in Europe which, where you can observe a very important decrease of life expectancy. It's the north of Italy and Belgium. The gender, sorry.
So any difference between men and women?
Sorry. So the difference between, yes. So of course, it's very interesting that our results are only observed in men and not in women. And this may be due to, first, a statistical issue. Because in our study population, the female group represents less than 25% of the population. So it could be simply due to statistical phenomenon. But we have another hypothesis that is that the men may be more vulnerable to air pollution exposure. We have some other studies showing that, for example, the change in arterial stiffness, which are predictable of arteriosclerosis, the change in heart rate variability, which are predictable of rhythm disorder, are only associated with air pollution, are only observed in men and not in women. So maybe we have something very specifically in men, but it needs to be
Just to clarify on that question, other studies have not found such a disparity in gender, so it might be specific to the study. And within the European Society of Cardiology, we have published a position paper on the effects of pollution on cardiovascular disease, and we don't really find a gender disparity. So it might be study-specific or population-specific, but in general, we don't expect gender difference.
Any correlation with smoking between male and female?
smoking. Tobacco smoking, no, we don't find any correlation with that. So, yeah.
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 Pierre Doal, le journal du médecin Arts and Krant Belgique. Do you see any difference between the Flemish part and the French part of Belgium?
It's a very specific question for Belgium press. So no, so it was a national study. So we have included all the infarct, and in our study we don't find any difference between the Flemish and the French part of the country.
Because we know that there is more industry
Yeah.
in the Flemish part,
Yeah.
maybe Brussels, Antwerp, and so on.
Yes. But we have used a methodology to overcome this issue. So it's control for this disparity of air pollution between the north and the south part of Belgium.
Also in the Luxembourg,
Luxembourg, the province of Luxembourg. No, it was not. It's not an issue in your study.
Now, what would your message be for politicians? Do you think your study is strong enough to go to Brussels? Well, at least you live in Brussels, you don't have to go far away. but to talk to them, tell them, switch off your motor cars,
Yes.
or what do you
Yes.
think?
I believe that maybe what we can expect from this study is indeed a change in the air pollution policy. I mean that the European air policy guidelines are until now very protective for the industrial activities. I mean that if you compare, for example, the European Union air policy and the World Health Organization guidelines, it's totally different. For example, for particles, you can have a yearly mean of 40 micrograms per cubic meter for the PM10, whereas for the World Health Organization, it's maximal 25 micrograms per cubic meter. So maybe it's time for the European Union to adopt the World Health Organization level of air pollution.
So that's an important new message. I'm not supposed to buy an electric car then. Now, go. Yours.
No.
Sorry, could you comment on like the comorbidities of, like, say, COPD and the general health of the population as well? Because obviously these people might have other problems like respiratory problems.
Yes. So it's indeed a very important comment. But it's clearly not also an issue in our study because we have used what we call the case crossover design. So this statistical design is specifically done in order to control for all the individual cofactors. So, for example, smoking, as your colleague said, COPD, other disease. So this study is not biased by individual factors. What is very important, and I come back to the previous presentation, of course, is the adjustment for temperature. You have seen just before that with temperature decrease, you have an increase of STEMI. But when temperature decrease, you have also an increase in air pollutant, and especially particulate air pollutant, because we use more system of chauffage, etc. So this study is also perfectly adjusted for change in temperature.
Dr. Garcia, we talked earlier about the message for politicians. Now I want to ask you the message for me, for your neighbor, and for everybody here. What can we as individuals, what do you think we need to do after your results of your study? Do we need to make some action, or are we still far from it?
It's very difficult to try to find an individual message. Of course, when you have an air pollution episode in Belgium or in another part of Europe, you have some message saying that you have to restrain your physical activities. The elderly population may not to go out from from their house. But I'm not sure that this is very efficacious. So I don't have any individual solution to provide a protection against outside air pollution.
Perhaps
Maybe it's not
an
the
action
time to do
to reduce air pollution.
Excuse me?
Perhaps an action to reduce air pollution more than
To reduce
protection.
air pollution. Yes. Oh, okay. So maybe one specific issue from Belgium is that we have a very large use of diesel vehicles. And we know that nitric dioxide is maybe the pollutant that is more associated with diesel use. So maybe we can start with this message to try to decrease the number of diesel vehicles in Belgium and in other parts of Europe.
Well, if there are no